Yes, it's me again. They hate me, that's why they give a fuck about me at the same time. As always, JD Miles. The MGTOWs they love to hate, even the ones that claim everybody loves to hate them, loves to hate MGTOW at the same time, and I'm back again. Before I even get started, shout out to Jada Black for bringing this one to our attention, in which I'll see the title. 35-year-old wife gets criminally charged for the murder of her ex-husband. Well, for her involvement in the murder of her ex-husband, which was a Microsoft executive. What's more about this story is the fact that despite the fact that they were divorced and she should have moved on, instead she decided to get her simp involved and to have him murder her ex-husband. Well, both the simp and his brother all plotted to murder her ex-husband. Now, if they got divorced and they moved on, why would she want to murder her ex-husband? Well, seems like we're gonna find out today, aren't we? But enough of me babbling. Let's hear Jada Black break this down for us.
What is going on, guys? Jada Black here. Shout out to everyone that's tuning in. I want to talk about a story out of the Jacksonville, Florida area of the world. There was a Microsoft executive by the name of Jared, Bridigan? And he lost his life. He was killed in an ambush. He was ambushed while he was dropping off his kids to his ex-wife's house. I've heard of similar stories. And they found out what happened, and his ex-wife by the name of Shayna Gardner Fernandez, she was arrested for plotting his untimely demise with her new husband, Mario, who was arrested along with a guy by the name of Henry Tenen. He is the brother, for whatever reason, decided to do this.
That's right. When these females don't want to get their hands dirty, what do? What do they do? What do these females do when they don't want to get their hands dirty? They have their simp boyfriends and husbands to do the job for them. As I stated before, these females have two ways to take a person out. If they take them out themselves, or if they don't want to get hands dirty, they'll have someone else do it for them. In this case, she had her simp husband to do the hit. So basically, he murdered her ex-husband, and she was the mastermind behind it all. But let's continue.
They had to get a patsy. They had to get somebody to put this on because the new husband wasn't going to do it and she wasn't going to do it. But it happened, and over a year went by and no charges were brought until a year later. Not only was Shayna arrested, but Mario and Henry Tenen was arrested as well. And according to the Microsoft executive's current wife or widow, the grandparents, who are Shayna's parents, they are business owners in Utah. They have a company that they own in Utah, and they have pretty much taken over custody of the children. And they have been keeping the children away from their father's side of the family. You know, this woman, Shayna, has destroyed so many lives. This is a horrible human being. And I know when you do stories like this, you're supposed to keep a sort of, keep things about the story. But you can tell a story and point out the fact that this person wasn't a good person. If I'm looking at everything that I am looking at, all the reports, everything that's been put out here, the fact that they investigated for a year, they didn't rush to judgment, the case didn't go cold, they took the time to look through the evidence, and then they were then able to make arrests. But according to Jared's widow, his ex-wife was taking the children on vacations with her new husband, right? The guy who helped her orchestrate this. That is sick. And with the grandparents as well. Now, the grandparents have not been considered to be suspects in this, but I don't know, man. That family seems very hands-on. They seem very invested in the grandchildren, more so than they probably should, because, again, you're going on vacations with her parents. You don't think that she might have slipped up and told her parents the truth? I mean, the truth is going to be put out here eventually. I just think this whole story is sad.
So basically, and I have a hunch. I have a hunch that this all boils down to this. The motive to all this was, and this, I'm just making a guess here, none other than a child custody battle. Now, from my understanding, majority of the time, during a custody battle, most of the time, it always favored the children always go to the mothers during custody battle. Now, in some instances, the only way the father gets custody of the children is if he can prove to the courts that the mother is unsuitable and unable to take care of the children. And if he was able to prove that, then yes, the courts will grant the father custody of the children. But that's just my guess. I'm not saying that's true or not, but let's continue.
What was this for? This man, she had moved on. Jared had moved on. Well, we're going to get into the story. We're going to look at this from the widow's perspective and how two people who apparently had moved on from each other, how you have a wife in Shayna who just couldn't take it anymore. And she had to orchestrate this. Now, maybe she wasn't going to get any support. Maybe he was going to file for primary custody. She couldn't have that. And the story goes on. We've seen stories like this. There was a story of a woman who was the wife of an ex-Auburn football player. This was a huge story. She was lining him up to be taken out by her side dude. She was somewhere in Jamaica with her side dude. That's how she got arrested. And she was trying to get somebody to take out her husband.
Another one who didn't want to get her hands dirty, so she tried to have her simp boyfriend take out her ex-husband. However, this one failed. Boy, the plot thickens, I say. But let's continue.
She's arrested, put in jail. Then the guy who was going to be victimized by her ended up bailing her out of jail. I don't know what's wrong with some of you guys. This was a clear sign.
Oh my fucking God. Really, dude?
From the Most High that you might want to leave this woman alone. But some of you guys just don't get it. You really don't. Now I'm going to look at this story. We're going to get into this. According to Yahoo News, the widow of slain Microsoft executive Jared, Bradigan, said watching the woman she believes orchestrated her husband's demise live free for the past year was like salt in the wound. That abruptly changed Thursday morning when Jared's ex-wife Shayna Gardner Fernandez was finally arrested for his merciless slaying. Gardner Fernandez, who shares twins, now 12, with Jared, is accused of plotting his demise with her new husband, Mario, and his former tenant, Henry Tenon, who admitted he was the shooter. It has been like salt in the wound, Kristen, who's 32, told Fox News Digital in her first sit-down interview since Gardner Fernandez's indictment on Friday on first-degree murder charges, first-degree murder, other charges.
And what's worse, they murdered him in front of his children. Now that's sick. Sick as fuck. Just imagine these children, their father being murdered right in front of them by their stepfather. Now that's just cold-blooded and sick, all wrapped up. Man, let's continue.
She's taking the twins on vacations immediately after with Mario, with her parents, with people that we felt very strongly were involved in this. It's sick. Jared was struck February 16th, 2022 in front of his 2-year-old daughter, Bexley, after dropping off the twins at his ex-wife's house in Jacksonville Beach, Florida. The tire placed in the middle of the road lured him from his car. Kristen, with whom he shares Bexley, and their infant daughter, London, were at home at the time. That night, Kristen said that she knew Gardner Fernandez and her husband were behind the slayings and told detectives these two people need to be looked at. Gardner Fernandez and Jared divorced in 2015, but continued to battle over custody of the twins and finances up until his death. I knew that what it was. She wanted support. She wanted the children. He was probably on the verge of winning full custody. I think.
I knew it. So basically, he was going to have he was on the verge of having full custody of the children. She didn't like it, so she had her simp husband take out her ex-husband, her ex-baby father, baby daddy, because he was going to win custody. I just knew it. Why else would she even plotted it for it to happen? But let's continue.
Of winning full custody, and she just couldn't have it. She couldn't lose. She wasn't about to lose this. 1 month after the shocking incident, Gardner Fernandez, her husband, the twins, and her parents, Shelley and Sterling Gardner, celebrated spring break at Club Med Sandpiper Bay. They were celebrating their crime. I believe that they were celebrating the crime. I would not be shocked, and again, this is my opinion, if the parents knew about it. 1 month after those children lose their father, you're celebrating with their new husband, right? Like she got away with it, or she thought she was going to get away with it. On March 24th, days after Jared was buried, Shelley posted photos of the vacation on her blog of them paddle boarding, kayaking, and building sandcastles. Weeks later, Gardner Fernandez cut off all contact between the twins and their half-siblings. You just hurt more of the children knowing that one day they're going to realize those memories and those vacations were made with people that were part of their father's death. Kirsten told Fox News Digital as Jared's brothers Adam and Justin sat beside her. Although
I mean, this just makes you sick to the stomach just hearing this. So they plotted and murdered the father to her children and then celebrated it afterwards. It doesn't get more sick than that. Jeez. They are the biggest contributors to a fatherless America. You know that little thing Tommy Sotomayor was trying to give out years ago? Well, guess what? Now her kids are without a father and mother too, because now her simp husband is facing murder charges, and she's going down as the mastermind. So the children's going to be without both their parents. I mean, that's just sad as fuck, but let's continue.
Is deeply grateful that Gardner Fernandez and her alleged accomplices have been indicted and jailed is bittersweet. My heart just breaks for them, she said of the twins, her eyes welling with tears. You lost your dad. You're maybe just barely coming out of that fog, and now you're faced with the reality that your mom was arrested in relation to the horrific nightmare, and now both of your parents are gone. After Melissa Nelson, state attorney for Jacksonville's 4th Judicial District, announced the arrest of Gardner Fernandez Hernandez at a news conference Thursday. Kirsten read a brief statement pleading with Gardner family to let them see the twins. That's what the parents should do. If the parents refuses to do that, that tells you everything you need to know. That tells you what type of people that they are. It says we are their family. We love them. We have prayed for them every single day for the last 547 days since.
I will also go on to say that her parents need to be locked up too, because there's a pretty good chance that they knew about the shit too, but they decided to keep their mouth closed. But that's just me. But anyway, if y'all want to watch the full video, the link will be in the description box. Shout out to Jada Black for bringing us out to the forefront. Go click the link to his full video. Tell him JD Miles sent you. But that's all I'm going to say on the matter. I'm done, and I'm out this bitch. Later.